All right, hello. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging, not to be confused with Bull Durham, which is a movie from the 80s about baseball with hairy, shirtless men in a shower. But we're playing Werewolf the Apocalypse tonight, and we are continuing our Featureless Death campaign. We are storming a mage tower-ish, sort of, kind of, and got the full crew back. So Duke can now see. I mean, I like to imagine Duke's been leading you all the whole time, just quietly from, just sort of overseeing everything. Look at him; he's getting ready to leave now. Look at him! He's getting ready to go.
He's like,
gotta go again. See ya.
Wait,
and then,
where?
Yeah. So
We did
exit
what?
stage left.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be fun. I told Steven what I had planned because I'm like, I think this is the dumbest idea I've ever had, but he thought it was brilliant. And but he says that about all of my ideas, so he's full of shit. I can't really trust him, but we'll see how it goes. There's a couple of things I'm really looking forward to tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But before we get into tonight, why don't we go ahead and introduce everybody, etc., and see if everybody knows what tribe and auspice they are. We'll start with Jeremy.
Yeah. Hi, I'm playing Eustace Hart. I'm a Philodox Hart Warden. Overall well-rounded, nice guy, likes to have some bounce. Really enjoying this little journey through the Umbra. It's been great.
Absolutely.
Some solid team building.
You're like you're like a scout leader, is what we've been calling you. Just no problem whatsoever, right? Yeah.
Honestly, because of how well that went, I had enough experience to buy the spirit sustenance. Like, he's just found that resonance between the pack. He doesn't lose willpower number anymore.
That's perfect.
It's
Yeah, because normally
place to be.
Normally in the willpower, or normally in the Umbra, every scene you lose a willpower. Well, you don't technically lose a willpower. You have to expend a willpower to not take physical damage in the real world. But now you don't have to do that. You just your body just maintains itself. Perfect.
Just cool.
Excellent. And it makes perfect sense too. I think part of the game I know has it to justify your purchases and things like that. So it actually has that as part of it. And so it probably makes perfect sense. Okay. Melissa, tell us about your character.
I'm Selena Bendis. I'm Theurge of the Children of Gaia. And we're here. We're doing our stuff. Be interesting to see what Duke thinks of the choices that we made along the way. And I spent a little bit of XP, so I'm a little better at Brawl and a little better at Stealth.
That's great. Excellent. And good job. Good job. Not take an extra XP for getting it right. I'm just kidding. Don't. Excellent. That is excellent.
Also,
Wonderful.
Duke's been here the whole time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's the one telling everybody where to go and what to do. Everything that, it's basically what it's been.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. I will be interested to see what Evan thinks of what we've been up to.
Well, let's find out. Evan, what's up? Tell us about your character.
Yeah, I'm playing the senile Duke Dustfang. He's a Silver Fang Galliard. He, sometimes just kind of stares out in the distance for long periods of times and just kind of loses himself. And last time that happened, there was a trailer on fire with a bunch of people in it. So I can't imagine if it could get worse. So I'm thinking it has to be better than last time. So even though we have a bunch of young pups with us, so that's interesting. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Technically, no one has died in the time that you have been.
Yeah.
Technically.
You're just in time.
Yeah. So we saved it all for you. It's perfect. And then Kipser, tell us about Lou. How's Lou doing?
Oh, Lou's great. Lou is Ragabash Glasswalker. She is a paranormal detective of sorts, enjoying the stroll through the Umbra. Definitely not still mostly hurt. Great health. She, is doesn't wish that she had chosen to go back to town, still thinking about that.
Yeah. Yep.
And no longer has cigarettes, and that's going to be a lot of negative rolls this session.
It really is. It really is.
Oh, that's right.
So, Evan, they encountered some spirits that they had to pay. Jimmy and Stu, they had to pay offering to.
Tobacco leaves are natural.
And Lou tried to give cigarettes, but all the other stuff, and that's why I asked you what brand it was. If you would have picked some sort of all natural brand, or you roll it.
What the brands are?
I don't know. I don't know, but okay. And then finally, Aaron, tell us about Jacques.
Jacques Whiteclaw was born a wolf, a red talon under the warrior moon in Ahroun. He recognizes only the Garou and the wolf. Humans, a virus that he will no longer pretend to be a part of, are to be pitied, and the Weaver is to be hunted and destroyed.
Yep, I think that all tracks. All of that tracks.
Leave the poor meat babies alone.
Okay. So let's give a quick summary. Oh, he's not. Let's just talk some more until Evan gets back so I can give him the summary because he probably needs it more than anybody else. Okay. So last time around, you all had we kind of sort of resolved some of the conversation with Josiah Donclaw and Morella and with Dakota the mage, and eventually you all kind of agreed to take these young pups through the Umbra to do a task, etc. Before you didn't go immediately, you rest, you recuperated a little bit. We also finally contacted Lucas, and then eventually you did in fact step through the gauntlet into the Umbra. All of the 5 young chosen were with you as per the arrangement, and it was good. That was most of the episode. Honestly, it was just sort of trekking through in this delve, and it was kind of a long trek. In fact, as you are headed to some sort of reclusive, strange collector in the middle of nowhere, hard to get to kind of place, and the only real way to get to it was to the Umbra. You encountered a pair of gargantuan echo spirits that were in the shape of jaguars that tried to block your way forward. Eventually, each traveler produced some sort of offering and were allowed to pass. You ran into some swarms of these very minor spirits, these glow moths that basically helped you navigate through this ethereal mist and through these dark caverns. And you revealed this mirrored lake and a distant mountain. And at that lake, you all were actually graced by the presence of a serpentine spirit, very powerful, very large serpentine spirit, who did in fact exchange a modest amount of healing for some emotional residue from each of you, like memories, fear, anxiety, that kind of stuff, dulling those memories, in fact. Across the lake, once you did in fact cross, you started to hear the mountain begin to howl, these hundreds of Garou voices that were sweeping down the slopes like an avalanche. You saw shadow and light that suddenly kind of gained substance and fought, twisted, tore at each other, that sort of thing. And that's when you kind of started to piece together where you were and what you actually have just discovered. Was the remnants of a battlefield where 100 plus Garou apparently fought a bane the size of a mountain that kind of shattered, crumbled, and then buried the Garou forever beneath the earth. It's known in lore, or at least the stories passed down from pack and tribe, as the Howling Mountain, or the Battle of the Howling Mountain. And there's no real memory or recollection by anybody about where it is in the physical world, but you all, at the very least, found it in the Umbra. And when you reached the summit of that mountain, the peak, and then you started to descend the other side, you saw a ridge in your destination, this remote compound of some kind of recluse and collector, which was sort of sprawled and shifting and glowing like some sort of like shimmering like amusement park. And we'll pick up right there, basically, as you guys are coming down the slopes of this mountain. You can... again, the Umbra isn't really a physical sensation, so you're not really worried about like feeling cold or feeling hungry or anything like that. But you do feel, strangely enough, kind of a breeze. And when you look at each other, you can see your hair is kind of like, for those of you that are, that have in a form in which you might have lengthier hair, you can see it's kind of flickering here and there. The entire compound is, when you look at it, you can't really, it's like your depth perception is very difficult to assess because when you look down, there's these moving pieces, it's like a shifting sphere that seems to sort of swirl around some dome structure. Then you see this kind of long octagonal structure over here, but all of them are like kind of coated in this reflective, shimmering, silvery like surface. And that is what you all stare at. What would you like to do?
I don't understand what the way in is going to be.
Do those of you with the sight or a better understanding of the Umbra, are there wards or traps on the approach?
Could I roll an occult to see if I can find any wards or traps around here?
Absolutely. Yeah, go for it.
Let me take a look a little bit here. I think this would be or investigation or occult.
A cult would probably be better in this case.
Intelligence or wits?
Your call on that one.
I will take in wits. Oh, let me see here. I need -2. Oh, let's see if that works. Yep, that's gonna hurt. Okay. Do you think we can get some cigarettes around here? I got 3 successes.
3 successes is pretty good. Okay, Lou, one thing you notice, and sort of like an answer to the question of like the way in, you would know that more than likely at some point you all need to emerge from the Umbra. It's just a question of where do you want to do it? Like how far into the compound do you want to go? And one of the things you do notice, Lou, maybe it's you kind of messing around with the sort of your spectral vision that you have, or maybe it's just looking around, sensing it, like moving a couple steps and feeling this breeze, moving a couple steps away, and suddenly the breeze is gone and you're only like 10 feet from each other. You get the sense that there is sort of a protective radius around it. It doesn't seem like it's not a trap in the sense like a hunter like kind of springs like a bear trap or anything like that. But you definitely get the sense that there is a protective aura, and there's something about the sort of the nature, the chaotic, the resistance of it. So what you would probably equate it to is like the gauntlet when you guys pass through it in your own sept. It's not that hard. It's very easy to pass through whatsoever. If you try to do it like randomly in the middle of nowhere, it's a little bit more difficult. And so this would probably conclude like the closer you all get, if you do it with inside this radius, or if you try to actually get inside the compound itself before shifting, it could present more difficulty.
So there's a protective barrier, same as what we have in our Karen, and it is. I saw you do the dodge and decided I would lean in.
Did dodge it. I said so.
So if we try to get through it in the Umbra, it will be rather difficult, or we can go from the Umbra back to our normal areas and try to push through it. There might be easier, but then we're on maybe the outside of the compound. Hard to say.
So you're saying to get through the defenses, it's going to be easier to get through the physical defenses than it is to get through them here?
That's up to us, what we think we're going to be better at, no?
How good are you at getting at breaching the Umbra into the physical? How adept do you consider yourself to be in that right?
Selena and hold on, let me see here. Selena and Eustace, I'll straight up. There we go.
Yeah.
Are both a little bit better than I am, I think, at breaching the Umbra.
Yes, Lou. I was not speaking to.
Oh,
you.
I'm
I
sorry,
was
Jacques.
speaking to Selena.
Oh, my mistake. You see, you and I was talking. I thought we were having a conversation here. You see, I thought you were bonding with me finally. Something we could share in common, the conversation.
Your weak blood makes me sad.
We are sharing everything that we are doing right now. The experience of coming here and everything that happens is a shared experience. In answer to your question, I'm okay at it. I have the right to do it.
Then it would be up to you to decide how far you think we can push. I would think in the real world we will likely face, if this mage is rich, serious security like we might face at a Pentex corporation or the like.
Like
when we're here, prepared for dealing with supernatural.
And like I'm not as good at you about piercing the veil, so to speak, but I do know if we stay on this side of things, it's probably going to be more of a spiritual nature what we come across. And I'm real good at spotting spirits.
It also tires us out a bit.
That's
the longer we stay here, which will leave us less to fight with, perhaps.
But I'm going to toss out there, more than likely, somebody who's got a crown, what is like something that controls werewolves. probably going to know to have his security team loaded up with silver bullets. And I'm just going to call out that a relatively recent situation has shown us the results of fighting people armed with silver bullets.
If we transition into the real, we'll need to wait till darkness and then try to quietly breach the compound.
We might also want to do a safe area for the children with us.
They're warriors of the Green Mother and will fight at our side.
I feel like somewhere in between children and warriors is what you all really are. Learning.
He is barely
Okay.
older than my son.
You left
I-
your son with zombies.
Yeah.
Lucas is very capable. I know his abilities.
And these are Galru.
So are we able while we are here, are we able to tell day from night?
Not really. Umbra's not really doesn't really work that way. Umbra's more metaphor. So there might be maybe some subtle things that you can determine based upon like what spirits become more visible. That might help. But overall, like the Umbra doesn't really look like the real world. Like even the mountain you're on right now, it's too perfect. It's almost like something in a Minecraft in some ways. Like doesn't look like a natural structure. And what you're looking down at is like buildings that are literally reflecting everything at you. So it's hard to really deduce. So like ultimately you're like just mechanically your decision is like how close you get to the compound determines how difficult the roll's going to be and what the consequences might be. All right, that's all. Like that's really what it boils down to. And so whatever you guys want to do.
So maybe we press on just a little ways and I'll sort of pick a bit of a landmark that we'll kind of go to just a little ways in, and then we'll make the transition.
Sounds like a great plan.
Yes.
Maybe we try and, since everything here is kind of like conceptual, maybe we try and find some spot that's sort of like in the shadow of the mountain, some spot that seems to be like the idea of a blind spot, or maybe where like things seem to be in a little bit of disarray. Try and find some place that hopefully will be, its mirror in the real world will be at some place we're more likely to be safe.
Yeah. Give like a wisdom test or something, Eustace. That sounds
okay.
Sounds pretty clever.
Okay, I'll do that. So wisdom and let me see.
I mean, you could do. What was I going to say? So you can roll this like a occult wisdom. You can roll this like a survival wisdom, something like that, maybe.
Okay. So survival I actually get a bonus on, so I'll do that. And the bonus, and I'm just rolling what's the equivalent.
Okay.
Bummer.
So you see yourself. So I would say, like, as you guys descend the slope, right? You do notice that there's spirit activity. Small, like we're talking, like what's it called? Jaglings, gaffling, stuff like that. Go ahead, Eustace, if you want.
Can I spend a willpower to re-roll 3 of those?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. All right. Looks like one more, I think. Yeah, one more. So you've got 2 successes. So I would say, Eustace, you're probably as you're leading, the group down. You're seeing like this congregation of various spirits that seem to have no interest in you all whatsoever. And they seem to be just kind of going about their business. They sort of have, in many ways, they almost look like they're like sort of spirits of like spirits of the earth, like spirits of like that are not inconsistent whenever you've been in a forest, whenever you've been in woods, or whenever you've been in a park, or anything like that, where you've seen spirits that are kind of tending to like vegetation, tending to trees, tending to tree growth, that kind of stuff. And that's what you're seeing around as you kind of pass through. You see occasionally you'll see these little pairs of other spirits kind of moving about, these kind of large, almost house cats in a way, kind of prowling around here and there. And with 2 successes, you would probably be able to find maybe like a hidden section of a grove or a hidden section of a slope that you might be able to, come through without having like if that reflection thing is any indication of what it actually looks like in the real world, you would maybe have some kind of cover if you wanted to slip through.
Okay.
Nice. So we're going to move from here to there.
Okay. So this will basically put you like right on the outskirts of it, essentially, is sort of where I'm going to say. Okay. So are you going to wait a bit, or are you just going to go now? If you're going to wait a bit, we'll do a willpower expenditure for time. Otherwise, we can try to do the right now. It's up to you.
Let's keep the willpower. We may need it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Selena, if you're going to do the rite of shadow passage, is that what you're planning to do?
Yes.
Okay. So anybody who, so just so we get this right, anybody who is going to be partaking, basically anybody who is looking to come back into the real, you're contributing 1 rage die. So in this game, I'm not gonna tap you for like all the NPCs. That's absurd. But you're gonna have rage die from everybody. Does anybody else have the shadow passage right? Is there anybody else? Okay, so it's just the extra rage die, Selena. So you're gonna re-rolling your normal check plus 4 rage die for your pack.
Oh goodness.
Whatever renown you want to use plus occult. And because this is gonna be a difficulty 4.
Okay, so am I like, does that mean I'm swapping out regular dice for rage dice, or like my pool just got +4?
Your pool, I think your pool just got +4. It doesn't say replace. It just says, hang on, let me double check it again. Pretty sure it's just, no, it just contributes. It doesn't replace.
Sweet. Okay.
Well,
Right,
there is a negative to rolling though brutal successes. So, but we'll cross that when the time.
Allow me my hopefulness until the roll comes out, and then we see what happens. I'm going to do 2 rolls just so that I keep track of which all are the rage dice. Okay. Okay, that's okay. And that's also okay. So I only rolled 1 on the rage dice.
Okay, or 2.
Yeah,
So
I didn't roll
or
any
2.
2s.
Okay.
Yeah, none of those.
Okay.
And so then I've got a 6, a 6, a 7, an 8, a 6, and a 10.
You're good.
So
Okay,
6
you're
successes.
good. 6 successes. Okay. One thing you notice, Selena, as you push as you're going through this rite, it takes a little bit of time. All of you are participating. The young pups are helping as well. And one thing you notice, Selena, is that it's hard. It's much more difficult than any time you've ever performed this rite before. Like you can feel that something is actively like kind of working against you, and you have to really kind of focus your willpower in a manner like you can tell that this is not a receptive area the way that your own sept is, the way that even the Dawnclaw commune was. And so it definitely seems resistant in a particular way, but you push through. You're a little bit tired, maybe you're actually out of breath in a strange way when you come through. It's like it almost have kind of a physical wear and tear, but not to the point where you actually take any damage or anything like that.
Yeah, because I think she's kind of like drawing as she's doing sort of this. And so you kind of see like her hand shaking as like she's really, really having to concentrate on kind of getting this done. And
when you come through, unsurprisingly in some ways, because of what Eustace kind of observed with the conglomeration of these sort of forest spirits, basically, you find yourselves in a fairly lush forest. You look up and you can see that while it's not fully nighttime, it's close. You can tell that the light is, you're like probably in the midst of sunset. There's not a lot of view of the sky, but between various like branches and things like that, you can in fact kind of see all the way up there. Looking around, there's really nothing other than a surprisingly dense undergrowth. You can see that the trees themselves, like the roots, the trunks themselves, are almost coated with greenery. You can see there's little kind of critters here and there, kind of flickering up and down, forest critters. You can see a squirrel here, a bird fly there. It really is kind of nothing particularly out of the ordinary. But all of you kind of hear a hum. You just hear this like very low hum. It's not like the sound of power lines, though. There's just sort of this other, it's like very, very low, almost imperceptible. Like a normal human probably wouldn't even hear this thing.
Eustace, if you look into and look for the spirits, do you see an area where there aren't any? If it was so hard for us to come through the Umbra, perhaps this mage is pushing spirits away from his home. And if we look for where the blankness is in the spirit world, we may be able to find where he is at.
Jacques, you are sharp. I like that idea. I'll do my best to keep a lookout.
Okay. You guys have pushed into the physical. So do you have an ability like Lou where you can actually see the presence of spirits in the physical world?
For it.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
No, so
what,
my
Jacques,
thing is-
did you want me? Jacques, did you say my name? Jacques? Hello, Jacques.
Yeah.
No,
So
Lou, I
Eustace,
didn't say
trying to be
your
the
name.
diplomat he is, will like do his best to like nod at Jacques and be like, "That's a good idea," and then immediately turn and play telephone with Lou.
Sure.
And to avoid seeing this, Jacques will pad off and start scouting
Yeah.
in the immediate area.
So judgmental.
My thing is more like I can see ghosts more than necessarily.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So Jacques, if you want to just do some kind of physical survival or awareness, Lou, if you want to do your normal ability, if you're trying to look back in and try to scout around a bit,
Yeah.
you're welcome to.
So I definitely, if we're starting to kind of investigate this area, I would throw penumbra sense up.
Sure.
I think at the beginning of it,
Mhm.
I roll. No, that's Jacques. Okay, I was worried I hit a button that rolled it. Intelligence.
3
plus
successes, but a brutal outcome.
Okay.
Oh,
willpower.
Okay.
You get when you got too much rage. So angry.
So I'll say this for Jacques. Maybe when Eustace turns and tries to like be the diplomat, kind of recruit her to do the thing that you asked him to do, and you just kind of stomp off. Maybe there is that little bit of anger, like that's sort of coursing through a bit, and you move with probably a great alacrity, and you are kind of sort of jumping between various growths. You're sort of going down what looks like an embankment within this lush forest, and at a certain point, you take too big of a leap, and your paws slip a little bit, and you go tumbling a bit, not to the point you're going to get harmed, but you make a little bit of noise, and then you thump, and you look up, and you have crashed into something. And when you look, you can see that it is some kind of greenhouse. You kind of got these semi-frosted walls. Kind of got the greenish tint to it, in fact. You can vaguely see inside, and it just sort of looks like these blurred shadows here and there, some hanging plants and such. Weird blinking lights periodically here and there, but you have like crashed right into it to the point where there's maybe even a small crack in the glass. Lou, you... let's see. So Lou, you're looking for signs of where it might seem that spirits are not congregating.
Yeah, or just like anything that wouldn't be an expected area. So yeah, no
Okay.
spirits around it, or I can also roll like an awareness or something as well if needed.
I'll say this: it is like Christmas as you begin to descend the slope. You look in the trees. You look.
It's a
you
bit
look
bright,
on the
you know.
ground. You even look in, as you eventually will all catch up with Jacques, you even look inside the greenhouse when you get a clear view of the compound, which looks not so much like what you saw in the Umbra, but instead like an ultra modern, super rich side of a mountain kind of home that only people who have more money than all of us will ever see in our lifetimes.
Oh, this is a rich douchebag area.
That's what you see. Super, super modern. Like something that would be on the cover of architectural magazines.
It's the biggest of douchebag areas.
but they are everywhere. Like you see, like there's not a path that you see, and none of them, like you don't see any of them like reacting negatively to him, but you can see a lot of pairs of what looks like cats moving about here and there. And like when you kind of look around, you can see these little like perfect pairings. They almost move in great synchronicity. You can see them all kind of shifting around. Some of them are crawling in the branches. Some of them looks like are crawling on top of the greenhouse. You even see, if you come up eventually to that greenhouse, you can even see there might even be like a weaver spirit inside, like tick, 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 ticking around, like there's like some sort of tech inside. And that's what both of you have seen.
If possible, Lou would kind of like call out to the weaver spirits. Hello, is this a good way in, do you think?
Okay. As you try to like reach out and communicate, like you're outside the greenhouse, you're calling in, Jacques, you hear kind of that hum get a little bit louder, and then the lights begin to no longer kind of flash or blink. They just kind of go steady, almost like is responding to Lou's comment.
Be careful, Lou, not to activate the security system. If there's so many spirits here, they may be bound by this mage to protect him.
We need to freeze them then. They should not be bound.
I mean, it could just be like, these folks were over there. I mean, Duke was all judgy about, having these younger folks with the older one. And then it's all fine. They're just there. So we don't know what's going on here. Who knows?
Duke is having a small powwow with the young kids, trying to figure out what their strengths and weaknesses are.
Okay, so I got this. I'm ready. So
Duke, you missed our circle of appreciation last time.
You really did. So Orion,
we did a thankful circle.
So Orion Timberwolf, energetic, kind of pale, red-haired guy. He's got a temper, but he's really fast. He's good at hunting. He's like brave to the point of recklessness at times. Ember Moonshadow, she is kind of like very agile. She's kind of a dancer. She drinks the Kool-Aid of Josiah more than anyone probably. She's just completely passionate about what's going on at their commune. Lyric Earthhowl is a storyteller, in fact. Very charismatic, very friendly, also makes mead and was the one that was hanging out with Eustace for a bit. Titan Stonefire. Titan, not Titus. Titan Stonefire.
Is it Titus? Yes.
Yeah, he is tall, kind of granite-eyed, broad-shouldered, strong, kind of quiet, tight kind of guy. Very patient, thinks things through. And then you got Rune Skybinder, who she receives visions. She can see spirits. She can interpret them. She says that they're divine messages and stuff like that. She's got these silver eyes, and she's very intuitive. That's what they'll say to you in different voices, all energetic.
Right. Duke will pair up each young werewolf with the corresponding older werewolf that they either annoyed or enjoyed previously. So poor Titus gets to be stuck with Lou.
Oh, the nickname stuck.
Nickname stuck.
He's such a nice guy. It's ridiculous.
And he sounds like he's strong, so he could protect her.
Yeah. He drove her, opened the door for her. He offered his truck to her, and all he got in return is getting made fun. All right.
I helped
the weaver
teach him.
for you.
Yeah.
Eventually, he earned his name being said appropriately, if I remember last session.
I did.
Yes, one time. I think it was an accident, though. Okay. So, what would you all like to do?
Can Duke roll like a Colt on the Humming? Like, is that something unnatural or supernatural? Or you said it wasn't like electricity, like something we're familiar with.
Yeah, it definitely didn't. It definitely didn't sound like a power line or anything like that. You can roll it. You can roll a tech or an occult, I would say.
Yeah.
One of those two is fine.
I mean, heck, this might be like some sort of ley line. A mage is probably going to put his home at a place of magical power, right? This is where a huge magical battle happened, right?
Jacques has hit actual physical compounds in the past, so he's looking for man-made physical security features.
Jacques,
there
I am
is-
going to help you because I also wanted to do that. So I'm going to come to you.
Jacques, you notice that on this greenhouse, the only thing you see is sort of it's a physical mechanical lock. But as you look at it, you realize like it looks rusted. It looks a little old. It looks worn. It's basically weather worn. Like it's been getting hit by rain. But it's maybe some kind of brass or metal. It's tarnished. Maybe even got a little patina to it. But when you look very carefully at the lock, like the lock is extraordinarily intricate. It is not just some like tiny little house key goes in. Anyone not yourselves probably would have just assumed it's just a lock. But when you kind of look down there, like it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And each time you look at it, you see a new smaller row of like gears and intricacy that you didn't see a moment before.
He hides his physical security behind a facade. We need to be careful.
I can run a few things, like I can let some gremlins out to disable some of the electronics if we want to go. He'll know we're here. It'll take out the lights, but also run so that he can't record us while we're here. I can do both things if you would like.
Maybe we should see if we can get a little further into the compound before we announce ourselves.
And you
Great.
are, this greenhouse is detached. Like it is like sort of on the edge of this lush forest. And you can see that it is detached from like the larger bit of the compound. You can see the trees begin to thin out a bit as the full compound opens up. If you're looking out at it and trying to see what you can see that there doesn't appear to be any roads like whatsoever, no paths coming in or out. You notice that in the distance, there is what looks to be a very flat area kind of behind and slightly further up the slope, like a helipad. You can see that there are a handful of these beautiful kind of reflective pools. They don't look like swimming pools, but they also definitely look man-made, that they've been crafted. And there's all sorts of decorative ambiance around it. And you can see that even they have what look like these like bits of like lily pads and insects and little things kind of moving about them. Lou, and you can see that there are small spirits that seem to be just tending around it, and none of them seem to be particularly alarmed. But again, you see like this pair of like these cats just sort of moving by a little bit, kind of looking up at you, and then as cats do, completely disinterested and move off in a different direction.
Is there any kind of perimeter wall? What's the main building look like?
So when you look up ahead, you see that there's no, like, it's so hard to determine exactly where an entrance is, because it's this weird modern, like almost postmodern design. Like it's kind of got this hyper geometric look to it, in the sense that, like, wait, is that no, that's not a door. Is that a window? Like every time you look at it, it just has this sort of weird quality to it. But you definitely don't notice any kind of wall that you would expect. Like you guys in your Gaia's Grove have a wall. Like even your newfound friends at Josiah's, like they have some semblance of a wall. But no, there's nothing like that around here whatsoever. It's just open and free.
Power lines coming in, cell
whatsoever.
tower, anything on the facility?
You see nothing. You see no power coming in. Lou, no power lines. Lou, if you still have your number sense, you do see the presence of, like, stitching up in the sky here and there, suggesting signals are being funneled in. But you don't see any like physical power lines or power tools. There's lights here and there that you can tell are on. So it has, it is using some sort of power, but you don't see any power lines. It looks to be in the middle of nowhere. Like it's on the slope of a mountain, and I'm presuming you guys are doing like somewhat of a, like you're kind of moving around here and there, probably staying relatively close to the greenhouse for now, but you're peeking here, you're peeking there, and you don't see like any suggestion that there is a drivable or walkable path up. Like there's no driveway, gravel, paved, otherwise. The only way in or out seems to be that helipad.
Is there any way to land orient or orient off the stars to try to get a general idea of our position?
Yeah, that you can. I know you guys were asking about that last time. So if anybody wants to do it, Duke, if you wanted to roll a cartography, you probably could. Selena could roll an astronomy, so I think one of those might work.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got 6 successes for the occult check, by the way, for like the humming and
Okay, perfect.
even like the
Okay.
cats. Now that you keep like, if Lou keeps bringing up the
Yeah,
pairs, like
Okay.
I was
would
going
know
to
what
talk
that
to
means.
Duke about that when I could. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say you, especially once Lou mentions that she's seen some Weaver spirits like filtering in here and there.
Also, these 2 cats that keep walking and staring at us, by the way. I like the first time it was like coincidence, but now they just like a little bit too interested. Maybe someone who is more read than I am on the occult. I'm still learning.
So Duke, the humming you think is likely like an orb weaver or something is at work. Not a high powered, not a very in the hierarchy of spirits, not particularly high, but definitely higher than those small like weaver spirits that just sort of facilitate the line. You think they're at work, like you think there's one like for some reason in that greenhouse.
okay, so Duke knows what that is, but what Evan does not know what that is. What is an orb weaver?
Effectively,
My
it's
people.
just it's loose people. That's a good way of putting it. They're not like they're like spirits in general. Like spirits in
That's
general are not
spirits.
like your enemies necessarily. Like they have the stuff that they do based upon whatever they're at. But what it would essentially mean is that there is a whatever they're doing is more than an average job. It's not like just someone who's turning the lights on in there. It's not just somebody who is like on a timer. Like there's maybe something more elevated of a job, more complex of a job going on inside.
Duke, you've been rolling so well. Like back to back, like crits
You
for 6
know.
totals.
After that long cat nap, being senile.
Yeah, you keep like losing your mind for a little bit every now and again.
Well, at least I know how to call my son if I had one.
Rude. And I know how to call my son better than you. I can actually use technology, Mr. QWERTY keyboard.
Comes back stronger and sassier than ever after nap time.
Apparently. I will, if I need to drop number senses for this activate Rite of the Forgotten Records, looks like I would probably need a success for every member of the pack just to have it up to kind of avoid cameras if there are any.
Okay. So you're dropping the other one basically. So you're no longer going to like kind of see that sort of okay.
Spirits.
So this is wisdom plus investigation. Is that right?
Yes.
So the number of participants that you want. Again, I'm not going to nickel and dime people with the young pups.
I forgot the kids.
I'm just going to assume that if you pair off with your mentee, we'll say you guys can get covered. Okay. It's going to be the same difficulty, actually. Difficulty 4.
I'm just going to use intelligence. It's the same as wisdom
That's fine.
for me. Don't know why. There we go. Let us see here. That is okay. I'm going to use a wisdom to reroll. It's 3 dice.
Okay.
Willpower.
Go for it.
Oh, yes. Willpower. That is what I meant. 1, 2, 3. Ouch.
Oh no. That did you no
okay.
good.
Nope. So I got 2 successes, which is, oh no, sorry, that's a 5, not a 6. No, just the 1. Okay, this
Oh
hurts.
dear.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go die in a quarter now.
Aw. I'm trying to see what happens if it fails. Let's see. Last as long as you stay in trouble. I think
a pretty-
basically
Passive right.
I think it's more along the lines of you probably think it's effective, and it's one of those things where it's
Yes.
probably not going to be as effective. There's potential consequences later that you don't know about now.
Yes.
But as far as you're concerned, you've managed to obscure everybody.
I've tried to make us so the electronics don't see us.
Okay. Relocating.
Duke, Duke, I think you had a cartography test that you were
Yeah,
going to do.
6 successes.
Okay. Judging from the sky, judging from the temperature, judging from vegetation, etc., you would presume southern tip of the Rocky Mountains, probably northern New Mexico, something like that. 6 successes. That's a critical success too, right?
Yeah,
it was Chinese.
I would even be even more specific. Maybe at some point Duke has been near Taos, New Mexico, somewhere west of that. The Sangre de Cristo Mountains specific, or that range is probably about where this might be.
Duke kind of ruffles his hands through the ground, and then you see he like pulls out like a piece of wood, and there's an inscription and it said Duke was here, and he's like, guys, I've been here. I mean, I didn't get this close. I think this piece of wood traveled, but I know where this is. That does us no good on how to enter, but I've been here, guys.
All right. I think we pick a direction. And so, since you've been here before, pick a direction and we will follow.
Well, one of you with those infernal phones could always call back to someone in our sept and let them know what we're doing and where we're at, in the hopes that if we fall here, at least someone else may know what has happened.
Do we have phone signal?
You have to have a cell phone tower in order for the phone to work. And I think we established there are no cell phone towers here. So I don't think that's going to work.
Once
But you know,
again,
it is
the
a good
Weaver
point to bring it
proves
up
to
and
be an
check.
inferior thing.
The Weaver is not inferior. You're choosing the bad areas.
Hey, but here's the thing. You know, in fairness, Jacques was willing to think outside the box, get outside his comfort zone for the greater good of the
Suggest
pack.
technology.
And suggest
Right.
a phone
Wow.
call.
That probably-
This is
I
true.
feel like we just had a bridge,
pissed off right now.
Yeah,
Get
that's what I
built.
was thinking.
right?
Jacques
Now,
growls.
Jacques not going to do
Very
it
upset
himself,
with
and that's
himself
fine.
now.
But Jacques is thinking of the greater good. Jacques, God damn it, you're just great.
All right,
Lou, you're great too.
I've
Duke,
thought of
great.
a
Slinky,
plan.
great. Oh,
Okay. So, we see there's a helipad, right? If there's a helipad, that means if you land on a helicopter, you got to get in, right? There's a path from the helipad to inside. So I suggest we take that. I mean, it kind of leaves us a little exposed, but maybe Lou's gremlins did something. I don't know.
Oh no, I'm
Perhaps.
using the
I like that.
Weavers right now, not the gremlins.
We
Okay,
could always
you know,
split our
it's-
forces.
The spirits are important.
The young with the old, right? That's what you were thinking?
I was thinking that some of us could draw the attention towards the greenhouse while others infiltrate along the path from the helipad.
now, on one hand, I
think
do
we
like that, but we do need to remember there's only one person here that knows the right to shift from here to the Umbra. And if we are split, that could mean a hell of a difficulty in the retreat, so to speak. That
Steal a
means
vehicle and drive back.
Let's.
All right, I think we should stay together.
We
Let's
stay
do
together. Take the helipad route. Are we going Krenos?
No,
Now, I would
not yet.
recommend not doing that because that's going to burn. You know, you need to. That takes a lot of
You'll be
inner fire,
tired.
right?
It was just so
Spend
much fun
willpower
last time.
every round.
Gotta
It
kill
is a
someone
lot of fun.
every
We'll get
single round.
We'll get
Yeah.
there.
What
Oh, yeah,
what I
that's
would
right.
suggest is, I don't think we're going to sweet talk anybody while we're here. Are we probably in agreement? I don't think we're here to like really sweet talk anybody or talk our way through things. In that case, I'd say maybe going let's go Teen Wolf on this. Right?
Jacques is,
'Cause-
Yes,
Jacques
I
is
am-
scratching his ear. He's still in
Labro.
lupus form, so he's just like,
We
all right.
need to
I
think
mean,
about
Lu-
silver, though, and if we think they're going to be as
Yeah,
armed as we
lupus
think
is
they
silver
are.
immunity.
Yeah. It's-
That is smart. Okay.
So maybe
All
we
right.
stay in lupus or human until shit hits the fan
Yeah.
and then see what's happening.
Man, I'm so
All
glad
right.
to be surrounded by smart people.
Well, okay,
Okay.
I will switch from Glabro to Lupus then, finally, after 3 sessions.
So you guys go to the helipad. So you
Yes.
trot on over. I'll presume you're being modestly stealthy with no requirement for a roll just yet. You notice that there's no helicopter there right now. You do see it's very clearly a helipad. there appears to be some kind of like tool shed or something nearby, or a maintenance shed or whatever. Duke is not wrong in that there does appear to be a set of stairs that seems to descend from one side of the helipad, and then eventually turns into like a walking path that goes into the shadows of the rear of this this building. Now, normally, like a path kind of goes up into a patio, but like this little alcove of patio, like with the overhang, with the way the top level shifts this way, the path just seems to go right into shadow. Jacques, you're pretty good with awareness. While you're up here, you get a scent on your nose, and you look a little bit off in the direction, not the way you came, the opposite direction of the helipad. And you can see down a slope there is what looks to be some kind of very ornate garden. And it looks like almost like a hedge maze. And you see what looks like 10 wolves just kind of slip past and through and into the hedge maze. Like 10 of them, just all various shapes, various colors, things like that. But the scent is extraordinarily familiar. You like Eustace, Selena, Lou, Duke. Like you're like kind of just going through it like a person who has a very good palate and is like kind of calling out the different flavors in wine. Like you're just getting each person's scent. And as far as you could tell, Jacques, all 5 of your pack, yourself included, and all 5 of the young pups in lupus form just went into the hedge maze.
We just went into the hedge maze, the 10 of us.
No, we didn't. We're right here.
The scent is perfect. I can't explain what is happening. We saw the magic that the Dakota did. Perhaps we are seeing what we will do, or perhaps, I don't know, but the smell was pure. It was us.
Whoops.
Should we take a look as a hedge mage, investigate, or?
Yeah, so does that mean that we should go to the hedge maze, or does that mean we should not go to the hedge maze?
That is a very good question.
You guys hear a thump back from the way you came, and you turn around and you see there is a wolf that just kind of crashed into the greenhouse and is now standing up and kind of shaking themselves off.
That is me. We are seeing all times. The wild is unhinged by the weaver and the worm here.
Oh, I wish I hadn't given away all of my stash back on the way in. I could use a little.
Yeah, I think we need a little bit of the drugs to understand this. I agree.
But we still need to go forward and see what else we see.
Well, we know that the past, we just saw our past. Perhaps what we first saw was our future, so let's go to the hedge maze.
Okay.
Yes, let's at least investigate before we go in, but yes.
Okay. All of you descend away from the helipad, and you get to the exterior of this hedge mage. And Lou, you dropped your penumbral sense, right? Okay.
Oh, I'm regretting that now, but yes.
And don't worry about it. And
paranoia spike.
There's this, there's like the empty entrance into hedges. The hedges are probably a good 10 feet tall. And they have like little blooms here and there, some kind of flower, some kind of mountain flower. And right as you all kind of take a step forward, like whoever's leading, Eustace, Jacques, whoever it might be, it's up front, your head just boom, and hits like the entrance as if you just banged into glass. And then you reach out with a paw or you reach out with a hand and you can clink, and it's like, yep, that is a sheet of glass.
Jacques, I thought you said we just walked in.
I said we just walked in, yes. I said we walked through the hedge maze.
But we haven't yet.
We just did.
But you hit glass? Are we still standing, like staring at the
You are
hedge maze and
standing,
Jacques just hits
looking
it?
at the you're looking at the
Okay.
entrance to the hedge maze, and anybody who touches it and who taps it, you're literally tapping a beautifully, perfectly transparent, clean piece of glass.
Selena's going to break the glass
Sure, yeah.
or
No
attempt
roll
to break the
necessary.
glass.
Oh no,
I should
no roll
say.
necessary. You crash, and the glass completely shatters. You feel, Selena, the earth suddenly upend, as if the entirety of whatever you were on something has gone vertical. All of you just slide down this vertical shaft through this crack in the entrance into the hedge maze, and one by one, you all fall through and land with a thud. Everybody, with the exception of Jacques, because Jacques, you have your cat feet, right? Just take 1 point of superficial damage as some of the glass cuts you on the way down. You smash, you slam, and when you land, you look around. You can see there is a very modest, light, beautiful, fragrant scent all around you. You can see there's tables, there's what looks like plants, herbs, flowers. You look up. There is a perfectly smooth greenhouse ceiling above you. You are inside the greenhouse. You hear a hum. Going on inside.
So breaking the glass, I think, broke the forgotten record, Selena. That was not stealthy.
Well, I mean, Jacques said we needed to go into the hedge maze, and that was the way to get into the hedge
We could have
maze.
thought a little bit, just for a tiny bit, we could have thought about something before.
We've already done so much thinking. We need action.
Oh my.
All right. So
What
yes,
a transition in Selena.
I do feel like
Yeah,
we are
man.
missing some of the smokes.
She was
I
real
agree, Selena.
impatient.
And she goes Krinos that one time. Wow.
Yeah, and just gets straight to the head.
You got a taste for it now.
You
That's
just
why
want
she
that,
does all
and
the
of a sudden-
drugs, because she needs to forget all the shit she did when she was younger.
Yeah. All right. Well, remember next time to pack a little extra weed for you. And
I did. When you were napping, I had to pass it all out to everybody so we could get through and not get thrown around again.
Oh, I see.
Hey, no, we understand sharing is caring. And,
Duke will go try and find what he imagines is a phone that's vibrating.
Okay, you go looking around for a phone. You do not find a phone. However, you do find in the dead center of this greenhouse, you do find a large computer thing. Like, that's probably what Duke thinks. Lou, if you look at it, it looks like a
Duke
very
just breaks
tall
it. No, I'm
server.
kidding.
No.
Looks like servers almost, like these stacks of servers in a
Oh.
row, lights flickering here and there.
Also, I thought it was an alarm going off, not a phone vibrating. Which it could still be.
You would be
I'm
right.
going to, yeah. Okay. I was thinking that's an alarm, and then Duke. Okay, I guess Duke doesn't know technologies. That's okay. Okay.
Can you turn it off?
Is there? Yeah, I could. I was gonna do a Gremlins thing. But before that, because I don't want to affect the computer, is there a monitor, keyboard? Can I actually access these servers, or is it just a server tower?
Yeah, so when you step over towards it, you're looking at it. It's like the tech itself, looks fairly high end, like the type of thing that you only really see in like the most extreme tech magazines. Like, it's not something that's commonplace, not even something that's probably sort of business level. And you look at the tower itself, and you realize there's like a kind of a flip down keyboard, and that reveals this monitor that's kind of attached to the tower itself. Now, the tower is almost as tall as you, but you are able to gain access. When you do flip that down, you notice that the screen comes on, and you can see almost like kind of remember the old school Windows screensaver that kind of just almost like Pong kind of bounced around. You can see that, except there are multiple things pinging off of each side of the monitor, and each one of them seems to be some sort of arcane symbol. Like, it just, like, that looks like some sort of Norse thing. That there looks almost something like hieroglyphic in Egyptian, and just boom, boom.
Oh, I don't want to do this. Duke, there's some symbols on the
Whoa.
computer before I actually try to wake it up, if you would like to look at this.
Do you want the Selena solution or the Duke solution?
I do not want the Selena solution. Again, we
Okay.
already have the alarm. I'll turn this off in a second.
All right, Duke will try to roll a call. I have an idea after, but I'll roll to see if he can understand what it is.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and a cult is totally fine in this case. Intelligence would be the
Yeah.
preferred. 7 successes. Okay. So you see. Okay. So there's basically 4 things moving about. One does appear to have kind of this sort of Norse look to it. One Egyptian. One looks to be like ancient sort of Chinese lettering, and then one looks to be something more Germanic. And you realize they all are basically kind of referring in some way to a flower. It's just sort of like a different word for flower of some kind, just sort of bouncing around.
All the symbols mean some type of flower. I don't know exactly. I don't know if that's like a, password or whatever they call it.
Is a specific flower or just like as a general word?
No, it's just like the general concept, basically. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then
we
I
need
will
to
take
pick a
the
flower?
mouse to see if it prompts me for the password.
I'm sorry. Say it again, Lou. I didn't catch all of it.
Jiggles a mouse.
You'll jiggle
Mouse
the
jiggle.
mouse.
Jiggles a mouse. Mouse
You
jiggle.
jiggle the mouse. You see the motion of the symbol stops, and a small little password entry comes up. Yes.
Okay. Do you think we capitalize the first F or no?
Of course. It's a password.
Okay, then
Oh, I was gonna say
capital
no.
F. Do we want to vote for this? Eustace?
No, you do whatever you
No,
want.
you do it.
know?
This is you. You
You're
do
good
you.
at making decisions. So do you
Apparently the
John
Selena
was
way.
walking by the servers, getting ready to hike his leg. He's
No,
about that.
no.
Fair enough.
Eustace, stop Jacques
if
from
you
being on
want,
this.
we
Put
can
that leg
if
down.
you-
Put that leg down.
if
Okay,
you
No joke.
really-
It's fine. The
Capital,
Selena
capital.
solution's the wrong solution. It's fine. I'm going to sulk in the corner.
All right, Lou.
Oh, no.
You type in flower, and you get a bzz, and then doesn't seem to work.
How many? Okay, so there were 4 symbols. I will try lowercase f just really quickly, but I don't think it'll go through.
Same thing.
Yes, okay. I said I
You still
needed
hear,
to check.
Uh, while this is happening, Eustace and Selena and Jacques, what are the 3 of you doing while Duke and Lou are trying to figure out what's going on with this little server?
Selena
I
is
mean-
sulking, but she is doing awareness while she's sulking.
Okay,
Just
go ahead and get that
muttering to
awareness.
All right.
Awareness is good. Jacques, what are you up to?
First thing Jacques would have done was look up to see if we actually fell through the roof. of
You
the-
see no evidence of any cracked, broken sheets of glass above.
So he would move over to the door to see if he can open it.
You go over to the door, and it looks almost exactly like what you saw outside, except it's less patinaed, less weathered. And when you look down, you can see the same thing, this like extremely intricate, tiny little like mechanism. And every time you look at it, as you stare at it, it just seems to get more smaller, and finer. But it looks otherwise it looks exactly the same, just from the opposite side.
This may be a prison cell.
Mm-hmm. I'll be
And then
honest. What I was aiming to do is look around the room. We're doing the whole thing. You're trying to suss out what the password would be. I feel like inside's a good way to go here. Kind of look at the layout of the room. Like we know there's a flower motif going on there. He's got this real art, like postmodern art sort of thing. Guy clearly has a sense for style. I want to get a sense for his feng shui in this room.
Okay.
See if that helps me get an idea for where he'd go. Like
I
maybe
love
maybe
that. That's
Fibonacci is
hilarious.
what you type in there.
Go ahead and roll insight. Selena, how'd you do on your awareness while we're waiting on Eustace there?
A crit with a total of 7.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll tell you this, Selena, you can see partially through the glass. Like if you remember when you came into the greenhouse, it was sort of partially frosted. You could still kind of see inside. There are vague shapes and stuff like that. The same thing is true as you look outside, and you can see that there are these shadows that are moving in your direction towards the greenhouse, coming directly from that modern monstrosity of a mansion. And because you got a crit, I'll say you can actually hear things too. It sounds just like it. Honestly, it's like it almost sounds stupid to say this, and maybe Selena even is like, I shouldn't even say this out loud. This sounds so dumb. It sounds like pots clanking.
So, yeah, people are coming, and like, you know how like on New Year's Eve people like to go out and like, you know, clang pots and stuff.
Nope.
It's kind of like what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
No, nobody.
Yeah.
You never. You people don't live. You
Oh,
judge me. You don't
okay.
live.
Well,
You
no,
haven't.
there's
What
no
is
judgment here.
happening? Yeah.
Okay.
We just
I
said we
roam
never
the
heard of
mountains
it.
with my pack and howl at the moon on New Year's
Okay,
Eve.
so we're on a little
Ah.
bit of a crunch, and we think we're in like a illusionary prison, right? Does everyone agree with that?
Mhm, mhm.
All right, everyone
Yeah.
hold hands. Duke is going to try quickly to perform the rite of abjuration, which lets us. I gotta freaking read it.
Yeah, go. So Eustace, what I'll say with the insight plus wits, if everyone's sharing information, if we're assuming everyone's kind of shouting out what they discover, you definitely notice something. You do notice is that they're like every one of these sort of like the flowers are kind of like wildflowers, meadow flowers. Like they're all just very, except there's like one pot in the middle that's just like a singular rose just sticking up out of like kind of an orange clay pot.
I thought it's broke because we just had to talk about wildflowers with the guy last session. Hey, remember how we were talking about like mountain flowers just the other day? Like, look at that. We got a bunch of mountain flowers. We got a single rose right there. See that?
Rose password. Rose.
Oh, well, yes, but what breed of rose is it, Jeff?
God damn it! Just
Jeff,
tap
what
rose.
breed of rose is
Just
it?
Rose.
No,
Rose
Jeff,
or
what breed of rose
La
is it?
Rosa.
Plastic, actually. When you take a look at it.
Well, it still has to be based on a specific breed, no?
Nope.
4 letters. Rose.
Okay, I will try rose.
Okay, so you type in rose, and you hear that alarm. Bzz, bzz, quiets completely. You also gain access suddenly what looks like to various security systems, and the clanking Selena stops, but you still see like shadows outside.
Good job. They're
Thank you.
still there.
Maybe there's cameras. This is a security system, so let me see what's in here.
Okay. Lou, you in fact do find security cameras. Absolutely 100%. You can see that there's cameras everywhere on the grounds. And I would say, Lou, you're probably crafty enough, no roll necessary. Some of the angles make absolutely no sense. Like there's no, like, wait, how is there a bird's eye view of this place? Like, what that, like they just don't make geometric sense in your head. The other thing you notice is that there are 10 wolves inside the hedge maze, seemingly lost, kind of split up in different directions. You also can see that there are 10 people in various like homid, glabro type shapes, surrounding one of those like the reflecting pools that are kind of skipping stones like across it. And then you can see that there's 10 combos of like some homid, some kind of lupus, literally on top of the roof, that are trying to like scratch and hack and smash at what looks to be some kind of skylight.
Okay, so we're definitely in some sort of magical infinite staircase maze. Eustace, Jacques, don't be on it. Jacques, Selena, Duke, see, look at these cameras. You can see the angles don't make much sense, but we're already in a maze. So we maybe want to remember that. It looks like we're skipping stones there and digging at the skylight there for some reason. But we're lost in the head mage there. So if it's the future us, do we want to do this or do we want to avoid this? Going through the head mage did not go well.
Maybe it's not the future. Maybe that's just all the possible choices
Right.
we could be making.
You've got searching, you've got fighting, and you've got acceptance.
Which one is
Clearly we
acceptance?
Skipping rocks is acceptance.
Right?
How does that represent acceptance? I need
That
to
we
understand this.
accept this wizard as our.
You've just you decided to say screw it. I'm just gonna sit here and skip rocks. You got the wolves that are like hunting around, trying to find some place. You get the pissed off motherfuckers trying to break through the roof. And you get the people like, fuck it. I don't know what else to do. I'm gonna skip rocks.
Okay, how
Stuck
about we
in a
just
time
do?
and then we are ourselves within the greenhouse.
Mhm.
So
Well, I don't.
where aren't we on the compound? Maybe
That's
that
just
is
a
where
good
we need to
question.
go.
Let me see here. Let's get rid of any of the screens that have us in them.
Okay.
What's
So
remaining?
if you're looking for places where like have the potential for like ingress into the place, definitely the idea of like going down the steps from the helipad. You don't see at any point anyone going down the steps. Like as you're watching, maybe a couple of minutes pass. Like you're looking for any motion. No one ever goes down those steps and into that shadowy kind of alcove where maybe a back patio might have been at some point. There's unlike a normal house that has a very clear front. And usually it's defined by like a driveway or a garage or something. This doesn't have that. But you do see that there is kind of this sort of angular point that, as you kind of get yourself situated, seems to be pointing east. At no point do you see anyone actually go towards that opening point. Eustace, while Lou is examining that, Luce, do you have anything in awareness?
Yeah, I think we got 3 in awareness. Let me pull that up real quick.
I also have 3 in awareness.
But yeah, you're
do
over
in fact
on
have 3
the
awareness.
Okay, so
Yeah, fair.
no roll necessary on this one because you found it to begin with. I would say you notice that the pot itself, like I was saying before, of this rose, it's a plastic plant. Like you can tell very clearly it's sort of play plastic. It's not even like a fake kind of fabric rose. It's clearly like toy plastic, but yet it is nonetheless planted in soil inside of the pot, which is peculiar as can be.
Okay.
What you thinking, Eustace?
Well, I'm trying to think kind of like when you're in Umbra, you don't always think logically. You think about the poetry of the situation. Now, why does this here mage decide to take this artificial rose, but pot it within real soil? It's almost like we are on the side of a place where a bunch of Gru were killed, right? And that's the nature of it. And something is trying to thrive in their artificiality within the soil, the decomposed essence of nature, right?
It's like the combination of Jacques and Lou.
It is very much. Yeah, it's like
Jacques growls.
I don't know about
loudly at that.
I don't know about that.
You seem to
Like,
think
do we
he
break
might actually challenge Selena over that comment. But he pulls back.
but
Do we try to dig into the pot?
I mean, maybe. My gut tells me that on some level we've got a person that doesn't really give a damn about what went down here, but he's willing to mine it for the resources, for the energy. You know, he's planted the roots of his false rose into the soil of our dead Guru brethren.
Wow, that's pretty deep.
He
what I
uses
do,
the
man.
weaver extensively to enact.
There's
his
not
will.
extensive weaver here. It's very little weaver here. I have much
It's-
better weaver in our Karen.
It's stronger
Yeah.
together than apart.
Do we want to see if this rite will break us out of here from whatever magical
Sure, I'll help.
loop we're in?
Sure.
Definitely.
Okay, so the rite of abjuration lets you purify a place, purging any spiritual possession. Now, I don't know, like Evan doesn't know if this is spiritual possession, but Duke may have a better understanding.
So you know that this place is completely and utterly flooded with spirit activity. Now, usually the abjuration would be like possession. So the idea of like a bane, like being inside of a human, or maybe inside of an animal, or even inside of an object or something like that. And like the strength of the bane and like it's all that kind of stuff could determine the length of it. So like hypothetically, let's say like the this tower that Lou is working on is if there's a spirit possessing it or something like that, you could potentially use the rite of abjuration to expel that spirit from it. Not all possession is necessarily evil, though. There are many times, like even like when you guys were crawling through the darkness to the listening station, for instance, you spoke with a coyote. That coyote was possessed by a spirit.
Right, yeah.
So like possession doesn't necessarily immediately mean like evil things.
I guess the question is, could he's trying to see if he could target what would be causing the time loop. Like,
Sure. You can make a roll as best you can. I would say the only thing that would give you the only thing you would think is whatever in the area. And so in the area, it might be the tower, it might be the greenhouse itself. Like you can try to do something like that. I do have a difficulty ready to go for it. So
all right.
Yeah.
I have 3, and I'm going to roll the rage dice.
Okay.
We get 4. Is everyone participating?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Of course.
Sure.
Oh, we get 2 more, so it's 5 total.
Okay. You are unable to push whatever is possessing this, whatever kind of spirits are functioning or inhabiting this greenhouse in this tower in front of you, are of too strong a source for 5 successes. Let's just put it that way. And so, Duke, you would know then that whatever it is, like the source of it is very, very powerful. The fact that like you weren't able to sort of expunge anything. The other thing it could mean is just like it was sort of like when you tried it with you guys, like with your tainted thing. But in this case, you're positive that there is a clear Weaver spirit inside that tower that Lou is messing around with, and you were not able to push them out of it.
Clear Weaver spirit.
So these are Weavers.
Not looking good for the Weaver.
The Weavers are fine. Okay, look, I'm going to go and turn on penumbra senses again, and I will talk to them. It will be fine.
Okay. So you drop the 1. Go ahead and roll for penumbra sense now.
Selena's looking around for something sharp.
There are various gardening tools and things in here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's going
Jacques
to
just looks down at his
grab
claws.
one of those.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
you
to
have
see
some-
if there's
Go ahead.
roots from that rose into the soil. I'm just curious. Just lightly
Good
working my
question.
finger in the soil.
You feel something metallic underneath the stem of the rose.
Got my finger.
Oh.
What?
Did you pull it out? Or did you
I'm
just
sorry,
cut yourself?
Eustace, your voice went a little weird there. What
Yeah,
was
I don't
that?
know.
I was just kidding. I said,
Okay.
"Oh God,"
I
I was
should-
just joking. Like
What?
it's
You're okay?
No,
Yeah,
I
you
was
feel-
just, that was just Jeremy being a moron.
No, I know. But
What did you find?
I wanted to highlight it.
Oh,
What did you
okay, yeah,
find?
no, I just this rose has metal roots down in the soil.
Pull it out.
Is there
It's
metal?
a plastic rose with metal roots. There's something. Pull it out.
Is there metal in the flower itself?
I mean, why not?
Yeah, you pull it on out and you see this long sort of brass cylinder with these intricately finite and smaller ridges.
The key.
Well, look at that.
Wow.
Where does it go?
The door.
The
It's the
door.
key to the door.
Go put
Look
it in
at
the
the ridges.
door.
Wait, but hold on. We have to think about, because we can't do the wrong thing, because then it keeps, we're going to Groundhog Day or whatever that movie was called.
Just put it in the door.
What
Groundhog
is
Day
wrong
right.
with her? Why is she so... We're in no rush. There's probably like metal robot thingies outside also. But
I get it. I'm pretty worried that whoever the mage that lives here is probably been alerted to us. I feel like there's a small amount of rush.
Okay,
My
let's
money
just...
is actually
Yes,
not
there's-
on
Moderate
pods
rush.
or
People
robots,
outside.
but armor walking around like on without with spirits inside it. That's what I think the metal clanking is.
Weaver spirits.
Oh, leave
Yeah.
the Weaver alone.
Why don't we
But,
head towards that space, that corner
Mhm.
of the structure where we never saw ourselves?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. All right. Let's try it.
All right, Eustace, you take that key, go up to that door. It goes in just fine. You hear it it just perfect fit. And then the handle just kind of starts working on its own. Like you don't even have to do anything. And the door just opens outward. And what you see in front of you is a marble hallway with what looks to be these beautiful, like, you would think they're probably impressionistic paintings, like that sort of era, hanging on the walls in these kind of silvery, or at least that color at the very least, frames. You notice that along either side of this long marble hallway are these busts of what are like kind of white plaster statues of some regard. It's an extremely long hallway. And you can see at the very, very far end, there is a door that has got like a rounded top, like lacquered wood, and it's kind of doubled. And you can see that there's these sort of very shiny brass hinges, and hanging interspersed along the way between where the door just opened and that door at the far end of the hallway, there are a series of braziers like hanging down from the ceiling. And you see a flickering light, and when you look up, you see literal torches hanging in them.
See, not so Weaver. This is not technology. Also, I have the number of sentences up for 2 successes now. Sorry.
Okay. So you get your remembrance up. You can see, obviously, like I've already mentioned a couple times, the orb weaver is embedded within this tower. You can see these tiny little spirits and some of these living plants inside. When you look down the hall, you can see that like there is almost a blinding light in some ways. Like your eyes have to adjust to it, almost like you would adjust to darkness, but it's kind of this inverted sense where it's just like it's like looking into the sun for a second, Lou. And then once your eyes kind of settle a little bit, like you almost have to put your hand up, and like if you have sunglasses, you might even put them on. And you notice that along the way are these tiny little blips in some of the statues and in the walls themselves. And that's what you see. Yeah, there we go. That's enough.
There's down the halls, there's something that is so bright, it's looking at the sun for me. And
is it the crown?
I can't. There's so much light. I can't get any details from that, so I cannot answer that question reliably.
Make sure we take the key with us. It may open other doors.
Selena's going to start stepping and looking at the little busts in the frames and just seeing what happens as she starts walking.
And she disintegrates.
Okay. Selena, you move inside. You take a couple steps. Your footfalls echo off the marble. You're looking up at this painting, what looks remarkably like, like it definitely almost looks like starry sky in a way. But you're sure it's not. You think it's not. And you look at the other one, and like you're starting to recognize some of these, but they have like a weird twist to them, almost like someone like copied them in a way, maybe, but more like from memory as opposed to trying to perfectly imitate. As you're in here, anyone else go in too?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Jacques
Duke is not.
Duke with the young ones are gonna wait just to make sure.
Okay.
Never participate in anything dangerous.
You know what? I'll have a new pet just in case this one dies.
Oh my god.
Fair. It's smart.
Okay.
That's alpha thinking there.
Titan comes with me, thank you.
Titan, like, yeah, I'll come with the woman who never gets my name right. Okay.
I just said your name right.
You know what? You're right.
Thank you.
And he'll start following you. Okay, so those of you who move in. Those of you who do not. When you start looking at stuff, Selena, you hear something that sounds almost like ice breaking or earth breaking, and you just hear, and you watch as the hallway, literally in front of you, it just starts to fold right in front of you to the point where instead of the hallway going straight down, you can watch as it just turns to be a right angle. It still continues forward, but now you're hanging a left as opposed to going straight. All sorts of like plaster and dust and stuff starts falling down to the ground here and there, but it is nonetheless just shifted right in front of you.
And Selena just looks back to everybody. It's not straight now, right? Just making sure everyone sees the change.
You're right. It is the right angle. Yes.
Great.
Lou,
Well,
we just need to try to keep ourselves oriented towards the glow. So whenever you feel it or see it, you have to help direct us towards it.
Can I see the glow through the walls, or is it now I cannot see it at all?
It's ever present. Like it's enormous. Like like seriously, for you, it's like you're constantly staring in the sun and like trying to keep your
It's like the Offspring song, not the Smash Mouth song, where it's constantly there. So even there was a discussion in chat for those.
I feel like Jacques is so young. He's like, who are the Offspring?
I don't listen to your virus music.
That sounds like you're asking me to help
to
you
sing
learn
it
about
so that
some
you can
music.
share.
I'm asking you to be a Galru and lead us to the silver crown.
So the light is ever present. I can still see it's right here through this wall. So yes, as long as we are walking around, I can still orient to the light. That's not a problem.
Now, is there any warmth from this? Could you perhaps like close your eyes and reach out towards warmth instead of looking for light?
I do this thing and see what happens.
I don't know, man. I try and think outside the box. That's all.
It's definitely warm in here. That's for sure. I think all of you would be able to feel that though. I mean, but yeah, I mean that sounds fine. You can do that.
Okay, yes, it's a little bit warmer.
So we're going forward?
Well, because we can't because of the right angle.
Well, I mean, we're going to the right.
Continue.
And
Yes.
Okay.
You continue up. You get to the very end of now the folded hallway. You look left, and you see a staircase going up, and you can see a flat level at the very top.
And Selena doesn't even look back. She just goes up the stairs.
Okay, she starts trotting up. No problem. And she now is no longer in view of Duke and whoever else was hanging back in the greenhouse.
I guess we'll slowly start moving, waiting to hear the screams of Selena.
No, we're going to go with her. We are going to support the pack.
No, Duke is with
most
his
of us
other
work
guys.
together during times of difficulty.
There
We
are
stick
young
together.
pups in the back. I gotta take care of them.
They were fine with us the other day.
They're like, we voted in like the last election. We're okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Shh, just follow my lead.
Jacques is
They're
basically the
learning
same
so
age
much.
as all of these guys. But
Yeah. They're all like, 18 to 24-ish in that kind of range, Okay. So those of you who go up, you find yourself in what, for all accounts, looks like an even bigger art gallery. You can see hanging on the walls all around this large square room. You can see that there's a couple different ways out. Like you came in, we'll say, through the middle south wall, and there's a middle right wall and a middle left wall, and directly across there's hallways that go in each one of these directions. You can see hanging on each of the walls are very similar, all sorts of paintings and such. They all, again, bear a striking resemblance to actual, real, well-known paintings, but definitely you can tell are imitations. You can also see that there are interspersed statues and such, kind of on various pedestals, some that are just sort of kind of partially broken, and they look to be intentionally done so. And you can see hanging from the ceiling this massive brazier that's got to be almost, you would put it at least 40 feet in diameter, that's just hanging from a ceiling that now that you look up, you realize isn't actually there. It's just this dark shadow in the sky, is what you see. At this point, I'm going to ask everyone to go ahead and make a composure resolve test, as this is probably wearing a little bit in terms of the weirdness that's happening.
Yep.
Oh dear, Jacques.
I'm gonna spend a willpower to
Get those
reroll.
other things. Yeah.
You think they would keep cigarettes in any of the drawers in the art room? My rolls are very sad right now.
Oh, Lou, that's a shame.
That's better. So I got 3 successes and a brutal outcome.
Okay, 3 is the difficulty. Did anybody get less than 3?
3 exactly.
Well,
Okay.
I got 1 success.
Duke
All
got
right, Lou.
6.
Oh no.
Duke's all about the crits tonight.
Lou, 2 points of superficial willpower damage, as it is just getting a little confusing, getting a little impatient. Like this freaking mage shit is like getting really annoying. And you haven't had a cigarette, and well, now that you think about it, it actually feels like it's been days, not
I
hours.
should
really
all-
think. Do you think there'd be growing tobacco leaf outside in the garden? That might work.
No, I don't.
I mean, we were just in the greenhouse and we didn't see
Yeah,
anything.
you had a
But
chance
that
to
would-
go
I
look
know,
for
there's
tobacco
close.
You
leaves.
guys hear
Cleanse
clink,
yourself
clink,
of
clink,
the
clink,
human
clink, clink,
poison.
clink, clink, clink,
What?
echoing from
What is
every
that?
direction. And you see emerging from each one of these entrances into the room, including the one behind you coming up the stairs, are what looks like a golem, we'll say, but made of like tin and like kitchen pots and all sorts of things, and they're just charging literally at you guys as fast as can be, just ting, 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 just charging right in your direction. What do you guys want to do?
I told you it sounded like pots.
Oh, you're right. It was a pots. Also, I was also partly right. I feel.
Yeah,
So
I'd like to
Lena's-
request parlay and hospitality.
Okay,
Have to ask.
Eustace is requesting parlay and hospitality. Selena, what are you doing?
Just see how that goes.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It's awesome.
Selena will like hold an action so that if they seem like they attack, then she will attack. But we're gonna see if this parlay works.
Okay,
I have no clue.
Duke.
Like I just recently said, we're not going to be able to talk our ways out of the thing. The first thing I want to do is try and talk my way out of it.
Might as
I
well.
wish you good luck.
Duke, what do you want to do?
Duke will bravely put himself in front of the young pups that are with him.
They're like all
Stand back, I got this. And he's not
Okay,
gonna attack.
Titans,
He's
this
gonna
is why
wait-
you're with me.
He's gonna wait and see what happens as well. He's not
Okay.
gonna fight, but he's just gonna
Okay.
put himself in front.
Sounds great. Lou, what are you doing?
Lou is going to kind of just try to focus and look at their construction and see if they can see where the spirits are, maybe
Sure.
condensed in specific areas on them.
Yeah, you can tell that in each one of them, they're like, there's basically 4 of them coming at you, cardinal directions, basically, as you all are relatively in the center of this big room. And you can see that there's two of them, we'll say the north and the west, like identical, similar to the way the cats, like there were 2 like almost identical moving cats. And then you can see the ones to the east and the south, same thing. They all have the same kind of basic shape. You can tell that they're just sort of responding to very basic instruction. They don't look like very complex or very powerful spirits, but they are nonetheless animating what look to be a series of like rusted metal, old metal, kitchen pots, things like that. And they kind of golemic quality to them. And then, yeah, go ahead.
The spirits are possessing all of them, and it's a pair thing again. They're like 2 and 2 and 2, just like the cats before.
And then, Jacques, what are you up to?
Jacques will, his instinct is to turn into a Krynos form and raise holy hair, but he's going to give Eustace, he respects Eustace enough to give what he's going to try a chance. So he will just put his back against Eustace's back so nothing can come at him from behind and be ready.
Okay. Eustace, you yell out parlay. They're charging at you.
I'm so
Etiquette
dumb.
is definitely going to be the skill. And then I would say either charisma, manipulation, or composure, depending on the way you're
Oh,
going
I'll
about it.
gladly take composure.
Yeah.
Can Duke help by just saying Rose, Rose, Rose?
I think you were busy trying to protect the young ones. Titan and I are hanging out, so.
Duke can certainly help. I don't know if saying Rose several times is going to do that, but we'll say Duke does something that helps. Yeah.
Was
Go
that
ahead,
like a
Eustace.
1?
Yeah, you can take a bonus. Yeah, take a bonus
Okay.
die from.
Yeah, but maybe the password works on the spirits. Come on, guys.
Oh, Lord.
6 successes.
They
That's a
immediately
crit.
stop.
Yeah, with a crit,
Very
yeah.
nice.
They immediately stop, and you can see as they're kind of watching you. They have no eyes. Like there's definitely no eyes, but you can tell that there is what basically looks like a giant pasta pot, like on their heads and stuff as they're looking at you. As you do that, they're waiting. Lou, you have you can see, you have like penumbral sense. You can see like there's something kind of being tethered to them. Like they're getting kind of like there's communication happening between whatever they are and something else. And a moment later, you watch as the four of them get a little closer, and then they each one lean down. You can see their hands, which are effectively like metallic spatulas, wedged down between the grout lines of these huge slabs of marble, each one taking a sign. They lift it up and they start moving it to the side. And Eustace, you can see that there is a staircase going down into the floor, eventually disappearing into darkness.
After you, Eustace. After you.
Good job, Eustace.
I
Yes.
knew it was the
Yeah.
Rose password again. God.
You just hear the young pups like, "You're so wise, Mr. Dustfang.
See, you just
How
gotta
did you
think
know
about it, you
Titan,
know?
you,
Just think
you have
about
to
it.
understand Titan's bullshit.
You're
with
almost
older
as wise
ones.
as Josiah." Ah,
You know, a little
with
low.
some practice and study, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe if I was 95, I'd probably be that wise too.
You should be
Yeah,
lucky to
that's-
look as good as him at 95. Go ahead. What do you want to do, Eustace?
The Duke is beautiful. That is not true.
It's true.
At 95, he was saying. At 95. Okay. Eustace, what are you up to? What do you want to do
I
with this?
guess,
Let's go.
you know, just follow the gut, man. Follow my gut's gone right so far. So I guess go down these weird, creepy stairs.
So funny. Okay. You guys, Eustace goes. Do people follow?
Yeah, Jacques
Yes.
right behind him. He's not going to let him go alone.
Okay. The golems stay up top. They kind of flank either edge as everyone starts to descend. Does everyone descend? Duke, are you going?
Yeah, Duke just disarmed them
Okay.
with the Rose password, of course.
Clearly. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so you guys descend into at least a couple steps of darkness. Clink, 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 clink. And then you hear like vague sounds starting to come. It's not dark for you, Lou. It is bright. Anytime you open up your eyes, it's just getting brighter and brighter to the point where
It's
like,
so
this
bright
is-
in here. Ouch.
like you can see tears starting to drip
Okay, I'm just
down.
gonna keep my eyes closed if someone can like help guide me.
And so yeah, someone easily can grab Lou, no problem. Maybe Titan does it. And did you have something, Selena? Do you want to do?
No, like I'm going down the stairs holding my hand up to like help Lou
Okay.
behind me.
Thank you so much.
Eustace, we'll say you're out in front. Jacques right behind you at your back, and the two of you can hear the sounds of television. Very familiar. And then when your foot kind of goes down, suddenly like you can see some light below you. A couple steps later, you can see some more light. It gets brighter and brighter until finally you're at the base of a staircase. You can see that there are marble floors out in front of you. You hear the sounds of that television even louder now. Sounds of voices going back and forth. The staircase leads to a very short hall where on the left you can see sprawling out in front of you is a beautiful kitchen. And then when you look straight ahead, you can see what effectively looks like a massive like sectional couch. And you can see that there are like bookshelves from floor to ceiling, and they're very high ceiling, each one filled with a crown. They're all kind of set on, almost like you're in a jewelry store. They're all set in these little displays. And as you're slowly moving down this hallway, you can see that there's gold crowns, bone crowns. You can see there's leaf circlets. You can see there's crowns made of wood. You can see that there is a Burger King crown. You can see that there's crowns of all different shapes, sizes, materials,
Does
jewels, no
Whataburger have a
jewels.
crown?
What's that?
Does Whataburger have a crown?
In this world,
No.
it does.
You can see that there's one that has there's a small display with the light over top of it. It looks like a dental crown, and it's just there's literally thousands of crowns in here. As you are slowly moving into what looks to be a much broader room, you can see that on one side now interrupting the wall where all of those shelves of crowns are, there is a massive television. Like, it is a huge television. And you can see on the television right now is Wizard of Oz. It's literally playing Technicolor right in front of you. And you can, you hear like footsteps, and you see a guy like walking past you. He's got a big old bowl like tucked into his elbow and kind of against his sort of pec. He's got colorful sweatpants on, designer sweatpants. He's got what looks to be a Denver Broncos jersey, like an old throwback John Elway jersey, number 7 on it. He looks up at you. He's like, "Hey, how's you doing? Yeah, come on in." And balding, you can see a little kind of black and white along the sides, tan, very tan. The other thing you notice as he starts moving around one side of the sectional to sit down, that there is a huge, again, marble coffee table where there's just snacks and soda cans spread out over the whole thing. And the last thing that you notice is laying on one other side of the sectional is a very, very large lioness. And Lou, I can tell you that when you come in here, if you peek, you are blinded by the brightness to the point where I'm going to say you are literally blind for this scene.
That makes sense. Can you, Mr. Oh, maybe I can just stare at the television and not look at anything else.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys do what you want. You guys hungry? I don't really have much.
Little.
I got like cereal, some Pringles. Help yourself in the kitchen. It's fine.
Sour cream and onion Pringle.
I feel like we've kind of come into your home. I take it this is your home, I assume.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's really princesses, but I
understand. Sorta. I feel like at the very least, you seem to have a very well-stocked kitchen here, and the snack food you got there is fine. But let's, to try and show some amount of appreciation for your hospitality, inviting us into your place here. Why don't I cook you up something like decent?
You don't like Captain Crunch?
I
love Captain Crunch. Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, when's the last time you had an actual prepared meal?
He doesn't mean offense. He is a fabulous cook.
Hey man, knock yourself out. Go for it.
I will.
You guys just see that the lioness is just sort of like stretching around like she's a house cat. She's kind of sprawled out. Her head is kind of hanging off the side. It's on the ground, and she's like watching this giant Wizard of Oz screen. And she's literally watching it. Like, you can see she's obsessed with what's on the screen right now.
Would you say if this is her house, is the lady at the house more prone to chicken or beef?
Oh, yeah, Princess doesn't eat.
Okay.
Jacques would pad over towards Princess in lupus form, and then is she on one of the sides of the sectional of the couch?
This sectional is enormous. Like it's like the size of a middle class person's home. No, it's huge. It's enormous, and he's on one side. He's trash. She's on the other, and I would say she's bigger than a normal lioness. Like, you can tell. Like, she's a little bit bigger.
400 pounds or.
She is like half of her body is on the seat, and then like her shoulders and her head are kind of flopping off, and she's kind of looking up from there. But yeah, she's over there.
He'd go over and belly down, and just kind of scoot up so that he's next to her, and would watch The Wizard of Oz with her, because he's never seen it, because he's a wolf.
Okay. You can see like the guy is about. No, never mind. You're good. He was about because he was about to say something, and then he sort of pulls back. Never mind. And she doesn't even react to you lying down next to her. Like, doesn't positively or negatively. She just seems engrossed, and you just kind of
just idly see how violent she was.
Yeah, she loves this one. I think we've seen it like 70 times, but it's a favorite. Anyhow, so hey. How's it going, you guys? guys look a little tired. It's good.
I can't really see right now, so here's the lollipop song. I'm going to come and find the couch to sit down next to you, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Come on. And he kind of like swipes away what looks like old Pringles cans and
Well, I
Ruffles
can't see that,
bags,
so
and
that's okay. I don't know
that's
what I'm
everybody
sitting
else
in.
sees. He's like, wait, come on. And he kind
I
of
follow
reaches
the
out, grabs
voice.
you. You feel a greasy hand on your wrist as he helps kind of not gently, as he attempts to lead you around to sit you on the couch next to him.
Okay, I think
There
this
you
is
go.
safer now.
Okay.
Alina wants to just go around the edges of the room and just check this space out.
Yeah. You see, other than the staircase going back up and the kitchen and what looks to be like a bathroom, you don't see any other ways out or in, like, of this area. And literally the shelves with all of the different crowns are, 15 feet in height in terms of how many. Like, there are literally probably 1,000 crowns in here.
What's your name, friend?
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's a whole thing I'm supposed to do. I forget. William de Balvis. You can just call me Bill. Bill's fine.
Duke will introduce everybody.
Hey, nice to meet y'all. It's the furthest any of y'all have gotten. This is it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyhow, so you here for the crown? Something? Is that it?
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
assuming-
fella that was wanting that. Hey, let's just be transparent about it.
Yeah. Sure. It's over there somewhere, and he's like watching, and he just sort of waves to somewhere on the shelf. Yeah, it's up there, but you got to choose. It's one of those types of things, you choose or some such. But I honestly don't really worry about it too much because even if you guess right, Princess isn't going to let you leave with it. So that's kind of how it is. I mean, you seem like smart, decent people, which is, it's actually kind of nice. I was expecting, violence and stuff. I still got my skin, so that's a good sign. But yeah, crown that can let you let the wearer control people's minds, force them to do things that they want to do. Yeah, that's not really something a good person wants, So that guy, Dawnclaw, yeah, that's like supervillain shit. So,
Jacques kind of whines and asks everybody else, ask him if he can, or if Princess can free us from the taint in our bodies.
Man, just full of good ideas today, man.
Arr.
Arr.
He's a pirate.
He's a pirate. He's a pirate wolf.
Our good lady princess, seen as I feel we're in accord that we don't really go for supervillain shit, right? But we also, we had to do the whole thing. There's like this weird dark worm spirit thing that we had to kind of like ingest to help like cleanse a certain area. And it's a whole big to do. And we'd rather not be infected with darkness. And we tried to go to a fellow who could try and teach us a right to get rid of the darkness. And he wants the crown in exchange for that. And it's just, man, it's a whole thing. But like, what if there was a way that like Princess seems to really be on top of things, right? And there's a bunch of crowns here that like, for if we took back a crown that wasn't the right crown, for all that fellow would know, he just didn't have the stuff it takes to work it. And then maybe we might beseech to find a way to do a good deed for Princess here and get the darkness as much. I'm talking too much. By the way, here's some potato chip omelets here.
Okay.
So we've got some brie and some chives, and then just a little bit of potato chips on top of it to get that saltiness and crunchiness. Little classy, little dirty, and that balance. I think you're gonna like.
You didn't like poison this or anything, did you?
Oh God, no.
And he like with his hands, like doesn't even bother with that. Hey, this is good. You should like open a restaurant or something. This is good.
I got one. You should come visit.
You sure you're a werewolf? You guys are like the calmest werewolves I've ever seen.
I am against violence, but yes.
You could just turn it off, You should just turn off. You got the thing on, I don't know what you folk call it, but like, you got your spirit detector on. You just turn it off.
Okay. All right. Yes, I will turn penumbra senses off.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
the one who
vision will
normally is
slowly-
most likely go tearing things up seems to actually be pretty happy with Princess over there.
Oh, that's nice. He's not interrupted us. That's good. She does
Okay.
not. So, yeah.
He's
she
not
loves
that
this pot.
stupid.
Yeah, she loves this pot. And you can see that she just like kind of turns her head, and then she genuinely seems to have a reaction to it. Like she's excited. And like Jacques, you can kind of feel a warmth suddenly pulse off her at that point. It's very like almost like to the point where it's like hot. You just whoosh. He's like,
Jacques
yeah.
yips back, and he's like, basically says, "We don't care about the crown. If there's anything we can do to get healed here, we just leave without the crown, and we tell that old bastard that
We
it
also
didn't
will-
work."
We also want to teach the young ones is that they are part of a cult and he is evil, and not
Who
to
are-
believe everyone in the first place.
Are they not here? Can
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why we're.
This is why we're bringing
Yeah.
it in, bringing it
Okay.
up.
Cool, because Jacques, I've always interpreted Jacques in lupus form. He's not actually talking. He is just sort of like intimating to you all, his
Intimating.
pack mates,
Yeah.
his emotions, like his intentions, that sort of thing.
They know me well enough
Yeah.
to get what I'm
And so
saying.
the kids don't necessarily know all of that, like, that son of a bitch, that kind of stuff. So like, so basically, like, it's kind of up to you guys in terms of where they're at, what they can hear, but they are in awe.
I
and
just
they're-
said that out loud.
They're genuinely like looking at the crowns, like they're sort of searching at this point. And like maybe Rune's like, wait, what was that?
Yeah, Titan, stop.
Yeah,
Titan, collect your
What?
friends. Collect your friends. We're doing
Just,
talking.
guys.
yeah,
not
no, just
searching.
look at the crowns. It's fine.
Don't
We'll-
look at the
let-
crowns. You're going to die
What?
if you find anything.
What? And like you can see
Potato
like a
chip
dog
omelet,
who's
potato
trying to
chip
like
omelet,
decide.
potato chip omelet.
Titan, remember, I said that you have to think about things and not just believe what people say.
Man, I'm so sorry you got paired up with her.
Yeah. She had something going on with her kid, and like
Yeah. She's
Okay.
not a good parent.
I am still right. I am a very good parent. Thank you.
So like if you
Oh.
think like she is like your mom wolf, I
I am
think-
not a
think
mom
differently.
wolf. I do not want more children. Thank you.
Jacques-
But Duke
is
also-
She's not a
talking
wolf at
about?
all.
so
What?
So I will say that in response to you, Eustace, in the sort of what Jacques had kind of inferred, like he's like, yeah, I mean, I imagine Princess can do it, but she's not going to. It's kind of beneath her. But yeah, I could do it, no problem. I mean, you guys are gonna like leave. Everything's gonna be happy. You're not gonna tell anyone about this place, that sort of thing. Like, we have
I mean,
a
I'll tell you
cool-
what, you ever want to, I mean, you've got a hell of a place here, but if you ever want to get out for out of town, goddamn fine brewery, get yourself a beer, get out of the house, drinks, mailer on me anytime you want to come visit,
Yeah. Hey, that's really a great offer. You're right. It's a very nice place, but there are people out there who would kind of know if I left it, and that would be a problem for me. So I just kind
So
of
what you're saying is you need the occasional DoorDash.
Sure, yeah, but like, I mean, Princess provides, I can provide, but I've got resources.
All
is
right.
what I'm
So-
saying.
So you're not like a prisoner here or anything.
No, are you kidding?
Yeah.
No, this place is great. Are you kidding? Oh, no. I love this place.
I mean, it could be great, but you still wouldn't be allowed to leave, and you're still a prisoner.
Oh, no, I can leave anytime I want. I wouldn't, but I could. But I don't really want to. I've been
So
out in
what's
the
your
world. It's a
job
thing.
here just to protect Princess and not just, but like, is your job to protect Princess and protect the crown?
Sure, I protect Princess. Yeah, that's what are those little
Jacques
things
looks
called?
over, cocks his head. He's like, I don't think that's how that relationship works.
Yeah, he's like, what are those little things called that are like on like the underbelly of like one of them big sharks? What are those things called? That's what I am.
Princess.
to princess, so to
A
speak.
parasite. Mhm.
I'm a parasite? No, I'm not a parasite. Come
There's a
on,
little-
it's
there's a
symbiotic.
little
We help
feeder
each other
feet.
out.
It's like a
Remoras.
remora or something, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, probably not.
How do you
So-
help Princess
Maybe.
out?
I just, I show her the movies. She really likes the movies. I help to help to clean the place up. There was some nasty stuff here when we first got here, and I just keep an eye on this side. She's got a lot to keep an eye on, and so I handle like this side of the range, and I can kind of keep an eye on things, and she's got the rest of it.
Jacques
So-
quietly growls at everybody to basically say, let's get to the cleansing before he changes his mind.
So yeah. You can help us?
Yeah, no problem. I can do it. Again, though, I need your word, your bonds. You werewolves. I don't mean any offense at this. You're way better company than like vamps and ghosts and such. But you guys got some anger issues. But I know like you're very honorable and such, right? Like that's your thing, honor and whatnot. So if you like give me your word, you make a pledge, whatever it is, I know you're gonna.
Do you need me to like
abide
cut
by
my
it.
hand and we'll shake on it? Is that
No, I
is
don't.
that what you're looking for?
God, that's gross. What's wrong with you? And he just kind of wipes grease off on his Elway jersey. That's so gross. What are you talking about? Come on. Blood doesn't make it. Why do you werewolves always got to get blood involved on things? Ugh.
I mean, some people feel like that makes for a better promise. I don't know.
It's a
Pinky swear?
very- Yeah, exactly. It's a very good bonding thing.
So, okay, yeah, I could do that. That's no problem. It looks to not. Hang on, one sec. He just raised his really big yawn. And he kind of rubs his eyes accidentally, and oh god, the grease! Oh, and then he
Yeah,
opens.
that
them
was
up.
that. The potato chips have a lot of salt on them, and you rub that in your eye, it's just gonna be.
And when he opens his eyes, you can see that they're like black. They're just utterly black. Oh god, yeah, it just looks like it's the 4 use. Don't the other 6? They're fine. Whew, and he shakes his head, and like the black goes away. Whew, that's better. So, okay, so I'm not like a djinn or nothing, so we don't got to do some sort of really like litigious contract. But I do want your word that you're not gonna you try to eat me. You wouldn't be able to. But like, you're not gonna try. You're not gonna come back here. You're not gonna tell anyone about this place. You're not gonna try to get the crown or whatever it is, that kind of thing. That sort of stuff.
No,
Again,
I mean,
no offense.
I think the way I look at it, what we agreed to was that, like, in order to receive the blessing of the rat that would cleanse us, we need to bring the crown. So we're going to go back without the crown, which means we haven't fulfilled that end, which means we don't receive his cleansing. But boo-hoo.
Or
Well,
like
okay.
we could just take one of the other crowns. I'm assuming like not all.
You know what? I feel like
Oh,
I'd rather not be false.
You don't want to take the wrong one. You don't want to take
Yeah.
the one.
And
Oh.
not only because there probably is something that would happen to you if you pick the wrong one, but also that just kind of, I think it's better that we just go back and we say, hey, we got there. We know how to do it. But the thing is, it's
That works.
better to just say, we're not requesting your end of the bargain anymore. So our deal is our accord.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I can give you something. I just can't give you one of these things. Hang on. Where is it? And he goes to stand up. As he does, he kind of bangs his shin on the actual coffee table, and then he just falls, and you just see like the marble coffee table cracks in half as he falls down. Oh god damn it. And then he reaches down, and where the crack is, like there's all sorts of shattered bits of marble and stone, and he pulls one out. There we go. All right, so here's the thing. I can give you this. And so he's just holding up a shard. I can give you this. You can keep it if you want to keep it. I don't really care what you do with it. Just obviously, but I want to just make sure like this is not the place, whatever it is you got to say to him. He just says, "Ain't the place you're looking for." What's that movie where they say the thing?
It's a Jedi movie.
No, that's not it. No, that's not it.
It's not the droid you were looking for.
No, that's not it. Never mind.
Okay.
Anyhow, you can take this with you. You can give it to him, be like, hey, this is the only good thing we found. You can keep it for yourselves, whatever it is. I don't care. But you can have this. Give it to him. It'll probably assuage the old coot. He's nuts. He'll probably die soon anyway. It's fine. Once he does, it'll be a better world. But here you go. And he hands it over. And say he's talking to Eustace a lot, so we'll probably give it to Eustace.
That's my kind of you.
Titan, you and your friends are okay with this. We cannot. Your mentor, it did good for you, but it is a cult, and it's not a good person.
Yeah. They look at you, and they are absolutely mortified and in horror at anything you're saying. And with a great amount of indignation, they're like, how could you possibly betray Father Josiah like this?
I did not betray him. I didn't.
Made an arrangement. And
No, I had my mouth covered the entire time. I made no arrangements.
It was implied. I was in the room. As like you can see that Rune Skybinder is extremely upset right now. And then next to you, Selena, you can see that your pothead friend is like, are you just gonna let them betray Father like this, Selena?
If I may, for just a second, here's the thing. We did make an accord that in order for him to cleanse us, we need to bring him that crown. I get that. And it's nice that we can get the offer to cleanse ourselves without bringing that crown to him. But the true problem is, you are his pack, and part of our responsibility is to keep you safe. Now, we already know there's a consequence for picking the wrong crown, and they're not going to help us pick the right crown. So that's step number one, that we could bring you to harm. We're trying to grab a crown. And on top of that, even if we did luck out and pick the right crown amongst this huge menagerie of them, that powerful old kitty cat there ain't going to let nobody leave with it, even if we did pick the right one. Now, do you really think, loving that old man the way that you do you really think he wants us to let you get murdered? Or is not the better part of valor to walk away and let you keep the experience, the wisdom that you gathered in your trek here, the growth that you've obtained? You've all grown on the way here.
Rune
Jacques?
is like staring at you like bewildered. Go ahead, Jacques.
Jacques, for the first time in a long time, shifts into a naked human form. Looks at the wizard, says, wipe their memories of everything since we left the Umbra. We never got here.
Yeah, I know. I got to do that again. God, I'm so sick and tired of doing this. Like,
I think
I tell Dakota not to make it so easy to get here, and then it's drive me nuts. Yeah,
Maybe
you're right. I'm gonna have to do that.
we should set up. Maybe if we can take them with us and do a Karen exchange program for them,
Just
they
get
can
rid of
be
their
better.
memories.
Yeah, okay.
I have to
Okay.
agree. I think people should be able to learn from things, but they are pretty dug in, and I would rather not have to take other actions.
They'll
watch
either
as-
die here or they'll forget it. One of the two.
Ember shifts into Glabro, and with a claw, she tries to rake at Selena. But right as it gets right next to you, Selena, everything freezes. And Jacques, you're closest to Princess, and you can see that you can hear like this low growl coming from Princess at this point. The whole entire room starts to shake. And Bill says, yeah, you don't want to do that, kid. Please, I don't want to have to put all of these things back on the shelf, as everything's kind of quaking and shaking at that point. Some of the other kids are starting to get, like, you can tell, like, they're very nervous. A few of them are looking towards Duke, the ones that were bonding with him. Titan is sort of eyeing up Lou a bit. Lyric is the one who was making me next to Eustace. It's just like, but he helped us. He took us out of... We were...
He turned you into slaves a little bit.
Slaves? What are you talking about?
But at the same time,
homes?
to help them out, let's not recognize that sometimes it's a hard thing to be alone when you go through that change. Any port in a storm sort of thing, right? And they've had somebody who's there for them that provides them structure. So let's not disparage their choice for finding a community.
And,
Right,
and
but they
we're just
also-
and Lou, we're just gonna do and she's gonna like pig Latin, like
You're
mind
right
wipe.
next to
Like
you.
there's
Yeah.
no point in trying to.
But one thing, let me.
It's not
just
going to stick.
Tighten.
It's not going to
tighten,
stick because it's going to be wiped away.
Tighten. If you remember, would you never say anything? I have been trying to counter brainwash you this entire time. Would you be okay guarding your pack, knowing full information while they forget?
He can't
He
be
thinks.
trusted.
He really thinks. Duke, what were you going to say?
Or would you like to mind wipe as well?
He's thinking about it. I just wanted
I would go to the ones that are near me. I would say, look, you have a choice now. Sometimes when we get a pack, it's not the right pack for you. And maybe you guys could join ours and become members of our sept if that's something that you feel is more aligned to your beliefs. Because you were taught only one way. Doesn't mean it was the right way or the wrong way, but it was a way. But we can teach you a different way. And if that's something you want, we don't have to go through all this trouble. And he kind of looks at all of the young ones and, the scenario they're all in.
Duke, you're going to roll a very important test. You can take an assist die from Eustace and Lou, because the two of them have also been kind of taking this angle. I think Selena and Jacques are arguing different things. So let's make this this is going to be a manipulation test.
Okay.
I think leadership is probably a good skill. Persuasion would also be good. One of those two
They're
is
the
probably.
same,
We have some audience for any individual dice rerolls
That's
as well.
probably smart.
Well, I have to do. Wait, why is it not letting me? Oh, I click this. Okay, yeah, leadership and then click. There we go. Cool. Yeah, and then I get a +2 from being beautiful and my favor for Silver Fangs gives me
Gotcha.
a +1.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
6 successes is
Let there
phenomenal.
be
Wow.
peace.
Okay. All right.
You see Titan takes a couple steps over towards where Ember had turned into kind of Glabro and is now frozen in place, and you can see she is straining, like she's fighting against something, and he puts a hand on her shoulder and he's just like, Ember, they're making some kind of sense, that, right? Things are better. Just because they were better than where we were doesn't mean that they're as good as they can or should be. And Josiah is not there. You've heard his fits at night. You know what happens. You remember what happened to Henry. And you can see everyone just kind of their eyes kind of go down when they mention that here and there. And you see over in the corner, Rune kind of speaks up and she's like, yeah. And Crystal, remember Crystal? And they all kind of look at each other. Yeah. And then Orion looks up towards Eustace and Duke and Lou, who are kind of trying to give him some. We can come with you.
You can come with us, or if you think that you can save some more, help your own pack as well, and then come to us. Either I would be happy to do what I can to support you, however.
I think. And they all kind of look at each other, with the exception of Ember, who's frozen. But they all kind of look at each other, and they're all kind of nodding here and there. And you can see Ember kind of blinks her eyes a bit. And then Titan looks towards you, like, all right. Okay. He's going to be mad, though. He's going to be
It's
real
okay.
mad.
I'm used to people being mad at me.
We'll handle that.
And Mother... She probably already knows we did this. Oh shit, she probably already knows we did this. And they get kind of panicked at that point. They're like, oh shit. and they get very, very nervous. But the same way,
And yet, she's still advised to do it.
and Rune's like, yeah.
Wonder if the multiple options may have confused as well, because we saw ourselves in many different ways.
Or maybe Mother just picks the most convenient option for her.
Yeah, true. We don't
And
know.
Rune speaks up, and she's like, she's not infallible. She's gotten some wrong before, like sometimes, and I don't know. And they look kind of like she looks really sad, but she's just like Titan's kind of standing up, and like he's sort of kind of taking a lead at this point. And they all are kind of starting to bow to what he has to say, and they all kind of begrudgingly kind of accept it. And you watch as extremely slowly the Glabro form fades from Ember Moon Shadow, and at that point, like the shaking in the room stops, and she, now back in Hamid form, she kind of gets free again, and her hand comes forward, the momentum, but it misses you, Selena, and she's, I'm sorry. She kind of holds her hands up and steps away, and you just hear like the crinkling of a potato chip bag, and you look over, and there's Bill. Man, it was even more exciting than some of the dramas that we've seen. That was good stuff. It was good stuff. Man. There's 10 werewolves in this room, and y'all didn't like rip anyone apart. You didn't rip each other. Whew. This was not on my bingo card for today. Had no idea.
Bill, tell the young ones what will happen if they break the vow that we're going to make to you, so they understand the gravity of what they are swearing to.
Well, you like your minds. Your minds will melt and will come out of your ears. But the good news is that you won't feel it because your brain would have already melted. It sounded better when I was thinking it in my head, but then I started to say it. It didn't kind of carry the yeah.
Scary image, though. Still, yeah.
Yeah.
One other
You're bound,
question,
though.
Bill.
Yeah, what's that? Oh, God.
We'll all
He's like-
happily take that vow.
No close.
What's wrong? I don't understand why you're looking away.
It's not. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening.
It's natural. It's perfectly normal.
You mentioned that you knew of Dakota and that she was sending people here. No doubt she will take action against our seps. Or will she? You know of her, or what can we do to
Kids,
placate
man.
her?
They're she's going through a phase is really what it is. Like she just, I don't know, like she's got this, she's in rebellious phase, like this and that or whatever. Like she's not really, he's just a means to an end with her is all it is. She's just mad at me. I tell her, quit it, just to cut it out already. Stop sending folks. I mean, close enough. Like raised her like, a kid. I mean, I fed her and I made sure she had a roof over her head, I guess you could say. But anyhow, like this is all just her like kind of, she's acting out. She's using him more than he's using her, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. He's really old. It makes sense.
Yeah, he is. He is.
I think he almost died when we tried to have the conversation about this whole crown thing. I don't know. I kind of blanked out through half of it. It was so boring. It just.
Hey, I mean, senility, right?
Mm-hmm. Catches up to you.
Is there any word you'd like for us to take back to her? Like, I understand maybe things are rocky in a certain way.
What if you say something to her? I mean, we don't even need to go back if the 5 of you want to join our pack. And if we can get cleansed, we can just go back to our sept and call it a day. I mean, you could make up whatever story you want about what happened, Bill, and we go on our own way. I mean, yeah, eventually it might run into them, but I mean, that guy's so old. Is he really gonna send them after us? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a good thing. I guess, yeah, maybe don't go back. I don't know. You guys handle it the way you want. But anyway, rules. No talking about this place. No coming back to this place. Yeah, that's about it. Right? I can wipe your memories if you want me to, but I've done that in the past and it's caused some problems. And I've had conversations with people like a dozen times. It's really frustrating.
I will swear the oath.
I will, but I will say, be ashamed not to come back here. Your kitchen is amazing.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. All right. So, okay, you four come over here. Come with me. Come with me. And he's like, he kind of leads you over, and he takes you into the bathroom, and he kind of like fills up this big old tub, this beautiful tub, with water, and you can see it's just steaming. Like, this place is great. You have no idea. Like, the water pressure is just phenomenal. He's just kind of like waiting for the water to come up, and he's like, all right, don't freak out. Just trust me. You trust me? Oh God, what's it? Eustace? You trust me?
I mean,
and he
it's hard
dunks your
not
head
to
into
at this
the-
point.
He dunks your head like immediately into the tub, and he just holds it there for longer than you all would think is good. Like, it's actually, I mean, maybe you get a little nervous at a certain point, but then you do notice that the water, as it's sloshing around, you see this kind of sudden black expulsion start to color the water a bit. And then after a while, like, you see Eustace's legs kicking and stuff, and he pulls you back up. Eustace, you literally were on the verge of drowning, coughing up left and right. And when you look down in the tub, you can see the tub is just this black sludge. It's like liquidy with the water itself. And he just, goes over, hits the drain. The drain drains it out, and he kind of goes through that same process, one after the other, filling the tub up, drowning you, one after the other. Well, all right. I guess it's time for y'all to get going. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. And sincerely, I know you don't want us to come back here. I get it. Heart and soul. I know you got reasons not to leave here.
Mm-hmm.
But if for some reason you ever did, welcome. Doors open.
All right, then. Sure. And if you're ever in the Rockies, literally anywhere, say hi to Princess. All right?
Okay.
All right, y'all. You can go out the way you came.
Is there maybe a quick teleporter instead of having us run all the way back?
What the hell do you think this is? Like a freaking video game?
Yes.
No. I mean, I could give you a head
You got magic.
start.
It's like
That's
you
not how
teleport all over the
magic
place with
works.
big
Like,
purple
it's-
singles.
You guys like wander through the Umbra and you have like no clue how any of it works. Like, no, that's not how it works.
It is
I
a
can-
surprising amount of just following our guts.
Mhm.
Like,
I'll point
it's
you in a
not refined at
direction
all.
and you can take bigger steps is best I could do.
I'll take it.
Appreciate it.
And so,
Seems a
all
little
10 of
deep, but
you.
I'll take it.
yeah, all 10 of you start trudging back up that dark staircase, eventually emerging into the Umbra and begin sort of your trek back. And we'll go ahead and end on that as you guys are returning. And yeah, we'll pick up there next time. There we go.
Oh my gosh, we did it.
Wow, that went way
we rescued
different than I
the
expected.
kids.
Good rolls, man. You guys made some
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, we're good. Oh crap, we're trying to convince the cult
Should you convince the
teens.
bosses, damn it.
I just had to,
Had to try.
finagle
Oh,
a little
goodness.
bit.
Oh, yeah.
I think Duke and Lou's reasons are probably very different, but yes.
Jacques'
Duke is
whole fear
good.
was that these kids were going to swear to it, and then a couple of them were going to take off and go back, and then explode. It's like he was trying
Yeah,
to
I mean-
save Garou
Yeah.
by
Mhm.
having their minds
Yeah.
wiped so they would still be viable soldiers
I
Yeah.
for the Green Mother.
They're each their own individual people. So depending how things play out, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see whether or not Dawn gets this wind of the fact. That's like, if you guys don't go back, there's possibility he just thinks you guys
Dead.
died.
Mhm.
It's like others have died. So it's like, it's not the most uncommon thing in the world, but 10 Garu led by like, that's a little odd. But if, who knows if he gets wind of it, who knows how he's going to react. So we'll see. All right. So that is the end of this one. Why don't we do some closing plugs? We'll get out of here. Jeremy, you can lead us off, man. Tell us about
and
this
Reese on
Patreon.
Patreon, comics, maps, tokens, fun stuff. Check it out.
Perfect. As always, check the links in the notes and description and all that kind of stuff. You can go ahead and find it down there. Aaron, what's going on with Garblick?
Next week is a little up in the air. I believe that Millie is going to be running Coriolis at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that I will be in the narrator's seat for Marvel Multiverse, The Cataclysm of Kang, on Wednesday at 4 p.m. And 50-50 on whether or not Pete is going to be continuing the Red Hand of Doom using his own RPG heroic deeds or not. I did not get a chance to touch base with him today on that. I think it's possible, but just go ahead, check out the Garblag Discord. You'll be able to find out there for sure.
Fantastic. As for us, we are off literally until next Werewolf game. So no game tomorrow night, no game Saturday, no game Monday, no game Tuesday. Holidays have come, so we've got other things that are kind of getting in the way of our stream schedule. Our next game on the schedule is going to be Werewolf. So next Thursday, come back, hang out with us. In the meantime, YouTube page, all sorts of stuff up there. If you want to get your hands on a Demi playing code for Marvel, check out episode 10 over on the YouTube page. Drop a comment there, and you get entered into a giveaway to earn one of those codes. Other than that, everyone have a great Christmas. For those who celebrate Christmas, enjoy yourselves. We'll see you on the other side. We're going to go ahead and raid Lost Caravan RPG. And thank you, by the way, belated thank you to the Vacter for the raid earlier tonight. Really do appreciate it. But follow the raid to Lost Caravan. Catch you all later. Bye-bye.
Good night.